All right, Sang. Sang, where are you from originally?
Originally South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah.
You came to the United States when?
Back in 1981.
How old are you now?
1981, I am 51 now.
So you came over as a kid.
I came over when I was 9 years old.
Right. Tell me about your family.
I have one brother and I have a mother and father. They're all living. And my brother is an older brother, 2 years older. And we grew up, we grew up pretty rough.
How's that?
We fought a lot.
Hmm.
And we put each other into hospitals quite often.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When we fought, we took it to a new level.
There's a real sibling rivalry.
It was more of a rivalry gang style. I would throw him off the second floor, and I would push him through a window, and then he would hit me with a chair, metal chair on my head, and then he would hit me with a shovel on my knee. So it was rough.
What do you think it was based on? Competition?
No, no, it wasn't that. I think it was more of a we just we I think reasons were the same as the regular people, but we just took it to a whole new level. I think.
You guys are serious.
Yeah.
You get along now?
We talk. Yeah, we do in a way. We do in a way, but then he is very different from me. So he's a more of a normie type,
Mm-hmm.
and
You like to have fun.
I like to have fun. Also, I like to be a little loose, and I don't really. I try not to judge people because I believe it's not what you do, is how you do it, and as long as it does not take over that person, which in my case, few times it has. Okay, I believe what that person does not. Well, one event does not define the person. So I mean, I honestly, I met a lot of interesting people here, a lot of interesting people, and people with high education from good families, and with the letters in back of their names, and but then they're they're all the same. They're all the same, but we see them differently.
Mm-hmm.
We see people on Fifth and St. Peter are different with the people in doctor's office in Beverly Hills.
Right.
But if you really strip away all the extra things on the side, they're the same.
We're all still human.
They're all same, and they're both very afraid.
Yeah,
And
fear is what drives a lot of us. Or
Hmm?
fear is what drives the
Yes,
majority of us.
fear. Yeah, fear is a very, and there's healthy fear and there's not healthy fear. But I think the people on the streets have, I guess, more of the non-healthy fears,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that are in the normal track of life have healthy fears, and they can differentiate as to whether we we are not able to sometimes. But but then to make it short, I mean, it's been a real interesting um, 2 years.
For you.
Yeah.
So let's back up to a little bit. How far did you go in school?
I was in PhD down at UC San Diego,
Mm.
and after about 3 years, I left on a leave of absence. I was, yeah, I qualified. No, actually, I was advanced to candidacy, and I was supposed to prepare for my Q exam, which is a qualifying exam. And but I was working at IBM at the time, and going to school full time, and teaching 2 labs for my advisor. So I was spreading myself real thin, and I kind of snapped. I think I kind of snapped.
Was there pressure from your family to achieve?
And I don't want to say it like that because it makes him seem like a slave driver, okay? But in a way, that's our culture, though,
Yeah.
and we can't fight culture. And then, I mean, my mother and father, I mean, God, all they ever did was provide for us, okay? And my mother, who's been in America now, so 42 years, okay, has not had a chance to step into Disneyland yet. Because when she was capable physically, she was always working. And now she's old, so she's not physically capable. So in a way, it's kind of sad, but that's what our culture drives. So I guess something that we have to live with.
You've been married?
Yes, once.
Do you have kids?
Yes, 2 kids.
How long were you married?
I was married, let me see, 2020, so 97, for 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
And you're divorced
Yes,
3 years ago, you told
3
me?
years ago, yeah.
And so since you've been divorced, you've been picking up girls on the street sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, a man has needs. And I surely do have needs. But then the needs always came with a price tag, and I'm talking more than money. And so, yeah, because to divert myself from looking at something else, I try to concentrate on something that is negligible, something that is meaningless. I attach meaning to it, so I won't have to look at the things that really has meaning to it. So, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I was kind of stupid. Because sometimes I would go through maybe two or three girls a day. Yeah. And in the beginning, I had some money, and so it really didn't. Financially, I was stable, and so it was kind of fine, but there was nothing would. It's like a boat and a bolt on a screw. It quite fits, but it doesn't go in all the way. So that's why I went through so many girls. It's just something was missing. And
Maybe you were looking for a companion or love?
no, because I never really believed in love.
What do you think you're looking for?
I think I was trying to find somebody to feel me. Because I'm supposed to feel me, but then a part of me was gone, and I was going to have somebody else feel it for me. And they could for maybe hours, but it was all just smoke and mirrors. And so it felt even more emptier. That's why some of the girls that I have seen, they think I'm a little weird. Because once that thing hits me, I don't even want to look at them. It just really, it gets me mad at myself. And I believe that getting angry at somebody else, I always tell my kids, that's wrong. Okay, you can get mad, but you can't get angry at somebody else. Okay, and so I would try to get them off the car as fast as possible, because I knew myself, if I kept looking at them, I would cross the line and get mad at them. I mean, they would be a target. So I didn't want that.
Was it guilt or was it shame or?
I guess it's a combination of all, but then mostly it was just, I realized how futile everything was.
It's a sad relationship if you really boil it down.
Yeah,
You're a stranger, she's gonna have sex with you, and
yeah, and someone I didn't have sex with. Yeah, someone I didn't have sex with. I mean, I just talked for a little bit, and I spent up to 2 or 3 hours, whatever, and then I said, you know what? Yeah, I gotta go now. But at that time, I had quite a bit of work. I was in contracts, and so I was busy. And sometimes I was busy for 3 or 4 days, and then I would relieve the stress on that. But that started to give me stress. What I was doing to relieve stress, that was giving me stress now.
causing even more stress.
Yeah, and because some of these girls are scandalous. Okay, I mean that stressed me out, because when I was younger, I mean, I've done all the gang stuff, all that stuff. So I mean, I know them, and I see it. Yet, because of I had that kind of, I would say, dark life. And then with the help of my father, I turned it around and turned it into education. And so I became an engineer. But then that was my previous life. And then now I return to this. So I still have memories of what I knew before. So I can see the signs. And these girls, but then I don't act like as if I know them, but then, I mean, some of them are really scandalous. For them, that is all that life is. Everything else is optional.
They're just trying to survive.
No, yeah, I guess so, because then some of them believe they need a drug to survive. It's not a physical addiction. Because sometimes they have built so much shit on themselves that they can't stand themselves when they come to. And they have to have something to take them out of themselves. So in that way they need it, but I used to tell those girls, you don't need it, you want it. You want to skip yourself. You don't need to skip yourself. Yeah. When somebody attacks me, I need to protect myself. Not that I want to. Okay. But when I want to practice something, like the martial arts, I want to practice it. I don't need to. So there's a big difference between need and want. So I used to tell them, and so some of those girls used to tell me, you make everything as a philosophy. But if a human does not think, that person is not a human. That's what makes us different from animals. That's why I used to tell some of the guys that I hang around with, it doesn't matter what they do. They could rob old ladies, whatever they do, okay? But whatever they do, they have to have their rules. If anything goes in any situation, then I will immediately let them go, because that's very dangerous. So they must have some type of constraint. May it be, I mean, something that is meaningless to others. But yeah, so I just tell this girl that you have to have lines. If you don't have lines, you're just an animal. But then some of these girls and guys I've seen, they don't have that.
Are drugs a part of your life?
Oh yeah. I like drugs a lot.
You like what?
I like drugs a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
And you've been using, what's your favorite?
Mainly cocaine,
Crack?
crack.
Yeah. And that's been going on for how long?
April of 1989 was when I first used cocaine. Okay. Then, when I took my first hit of crack cocaine on June 19th of 1989. I will never forget that day. Because on that day, I asked myself, where the fuck have you been? I mean, it was complete. All the noise went away. And I was in total silence. And it was beautiful. It was wonderful. I could actually rest. But then I never knew it would grow into this monster that I have to face. But as my therapist told me, Mr. Lee, you made the bed. You can't keep running from it. You have to lay in it someday. You have to. Or somebody will lay you there in a coffin. Okay, so don't run, he said. Yeah, since I was always all these quote unquote achievements, I was running from something. It was either that or crack. And nothing, I really didn't do anything that I really enjoyed leisurely. I don't think I even know what the word leisure means.
You're always working.
Yeah, it's always finishing something. That's what I like to learn. Because not that I can boast. I don't really need to boast, because if I know that I'm what I am, I don't think I need to convince anybody else. But for the time that I'm learning, my brain is like 70% on that topic, and I'm totally submerged in it. So for that moment, that is the only noise I hear. All the noise falls in the background, and that's why I like it, I think. And that's why they have told me that I'm a great student, that I have a great ability to concentrate. I have to run. I don't know what I'm running from, but I have to run some days. And I really honestly, I mean, after all the therapist hours, I still don't know what that is that I'm running from. And I feel that if I don't find out soon, that it's gonna kill me. And that'll be okay too, though. At least I'll have total silence. So, incredibly, I went through all that schooling, okay, while using drugs, while using crack.
And your jobs as well?
Yeah.
What kind of jobs have you had? Or what was your main career?
My main career, well, my last career was with IBM, and I was a research and R&D person for their design kits. So, so to make the long story short, IBM makes hardware, and people who want to build hardware, engineers have to have software to build those on the computer. Okay, so what's physical must match what is digital. I used to do what they call modeling of the physical device into a digital model that they can use in their circuit designers. So that was my last job, and then ever since then, I mean, I kind of straight off my main education path, and I started doing computers and networks, because while I was doing my master's, I had to take care of my own computer because school didn't have the funding for me. So they gave me the computer workstation, but I had to learn Unix, I have to learn networking, I had to do it on my own.
You're still working?
Now I do my own work. So when I want to, I can go and apply for contracts.
Oh, I see.
Contracts that seem interesting. Like for example, like Best Buy. About 6 months ago, nationwide, all Best Buy access points have been swapped out from Cisco to Aruba. Aruba is a company that's bought by, I believe, Hewlett Packard. Okay, so I mean, I don't know the story behind it, but so they would have this contract up there. So each Best Buy would require 2 techs, okay, and about 12 hours to swap out all the APs, okay, access points of the Wi-Fi. And so I would apply to that, and then if they feel that I have enough credentials or I have enough experience, they would give it to me. And so those jobs would bring in about $800 to $1,000 a night. Okay, but that will be, yeah. So those are the type of work that I will apply for. I mean, it's not as lucrative as that is. Okay, sometimes I will drive round trip 5 hours and maybe work for 2 hours at $80 an hour. So that's 160. It seems like a lot, but plus the 5-hour driving and the gas. So my actual profit comes out to about $20 an hour. So sometimes, I mean, I believe in life, in everything, even drug trades. Yeah, I used to joke to my people that I deal with. Sometimes you, sometimes me. You can't always come out on top.
Yeah. How often will you go down to pick up some of the girls?
In the beginning, I would stay there sometimes. I would just stay there. I would just go to the one girl and just stay there and just get high a little bit and then pick up another one.
All day, every day?
In the beginning, yeah. The days that I was not at work, because sometimes some projects would be like 2-day work, so I couldn't come here for the 2 days.
What is your favorite thing about these girls?
Favorite thing. Some of them do oral sex great, but then the sex part is not the part that really interests me. It's I hate it. At the same time, I am amazed by it. Is the acting skills. It really is. I mean, some of them are like Academy Award-winning style. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's the part that really kind of appalls me, at the same time really interests me. They didn't take any acting class. They learned it on a need. And some of these girls, I mean, you could be, the government should hire them for spies, okay? You could put them on a lie detector, okay? I guarantee you they'll pass it. Okay? When you can shed real tears, okay? After smoking crack with me for like 2 hours, okay? Real tears. That means you're still under influence partially. When you want to, for me, that's not even possible. That's not even thinkable. But I found out that sometime afterwards that the whole thing was a lie. It was a skit. Okay. But I mean, they gained some monetary gain. But after I found out, oh well, you know, I don't see them no more.
Mm-hmm.
So because.
Have you ever developed feelings for any of these girls that you meet?
Oh yeah, one of them. But then the whole, I mean, I still do have feelings for that person. Well, I should say for that imaginary person, because the person that I have feelings for does not exist. Okay.
Your imagination created what you wanted.
It is a imagination that's fueled by what she was saying and doing, and that was I think 99% lies, if not 100%. Yeah, but I do give benefit of the doubt 1%.
You got to remember these girls are hustlers first.
Yeah, they're hustlers, but then you see, I hustle too. Sometimes I hustle too. Okay, but when the hustle comes to an end, all tools need to be put down. But some of these girls, no. So I think sometimes this particular girl, I don't think she knows who she is. She's put on so many masks. Okay, I don't think she knows who she is. And to be honest, the saddest thing is that I don't think she cares. Because the crack keeps her going.
Yeah. Were you doing this during your marriage?
Oh yeah.
Is that what ended the marriage?
To be honest, yeah. But I won't say no. But if I be honest, yes. And my wife did put up a good fight to hold on to marriage. But I try to hold on to the crack and the marriage. And the school. And the job. And the hobby. And the extracurricular education I was doing. Because I love to learn. I love to learn. Because learning takes me out of here. Takes me out of the reality. But then the messed up thing about drugs and that and whatever it is that it has to all come to an end. I mean, I tried to make it last forever. One time I stayed up 9 days smoking crack while I was doing a PhD. I was a mess back then. But then that was the most prosperous time of my life. But if I look back, I was a total mess. I was a wreck. Okay, it's a miracle.
Is there such a thing as a functional addict, drug addict?
No, if you're an addict, no. The people who do drugs are not all addicts. I've smoked with people who come by a gram and we talk and we'll smoke and you get a call. Hey, Lee, I gotta go, man. Right here. Oh no, you keep that, man, I'm good. And walk away. And that wasn't an act. Because you can tell that something has no meaning to them. And this crack had no meaning to them. It was just an activity they did. Like playing. This crack took backseat to golfing to them. So then that person's not an addict. But if you're an addict, that means you are using for a reason, for a purpose. Okay? Then I don't think you can function because some part of your life will malfunction. I mean, you could probably put up a good facade, maybe keep a career, maybe build a career, but there will be a facet in your life that's in shambles. You probably try to cover it up with all the bright things, but that darkness will be there.
Do you regret getting involved in drugs?
Yeah, I do. I think I do. I never said it before, but I do. If it wasn't for drugs, I mean, it's not the missed opportunity, missed Caltech PhD. It's none of that. But I would have hurt less people. Yeah, that's what I regret.
In saying, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in all of this?
In Skid Row or drug?
Either one. The whole lifestyle. Drugs, prostitution, debauchery.
What seems to be is almost never real. Okay, and my father told me this. He told me, "Are you an idiot? If it sounds too good to be true, son, it probably isn't true." Because I loved crack. It took me to a place where I could be by myself, and I was complete. But I was never complete. So, if I was to give advice, crack does not fill the spot. It basically replaces you with emptiness. So the little emptiness you had will grow into a vast emptiness where you will not see any of you in you no more. So drug is never the answer. But whatever it is you have to deal with, it is not as bad as what you have to deal with drugs.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
your story. I wish you the
You're
best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.